TV. Thank you for all my candy hearts. I'm your Geek Girl host, Eve Park, the girl who was viewed by over 300,000 people last week. Just not on my feed. I've gotten a lot of new viewers from Blip, but not that many. What I'm talking about is that last week I got to be on Zay Frank's The Show, which I was super excited about. I sent in a Valentine's Day intro, and he played it, in fact, on Valentine's Day, which was so cool. So, who like Zay Frank? I do, I do. It's just that simple. So if you haven't already, go check out Zay Frank's Valentine's Day episode and your humble Geek Girl kick it off. Next up is Geek Girl swag reviews. I am really excited about this segment because I think it's really important to being a geek. Because we as geeks like to covet things. We covet knowledge, we covet physical things like action figures from our favorite movies. So if you're even watching this podcast, you probably have crap like this everywhere. From worthless things like this pirate ship to like your cell phone and other gadgets. As geeks, we are so often defined by our processor or our choice of console, and we use inanimate objects to express who we are and what we like, such as collectibles, posters, t-shirts, and other things. I'm talking about a cultural phenomena that we should be proud of. We surround ourselves with these things that then come to define us as individuals. But the word swag really isn't culturally appropriate for us geeks. I like the word peripheral because it's like my stylus is no less important to my computer than my cell phone is to me. Call them personal peripherals, if you will. So this week's peripheral, I know I promised would be the do-it-yourself blood testing kit, which is really romantic in a very geeky way. I thought that I would save it for Valentine's Day and bring in the footage for this episode. But I should never say that something is going to happen next episode because that always jinxes it. So I should know better in the future. And I don't have that footage in a timely manner. So this week we will be talking about the Snowbot. My Snowbot is placed in the seat of honor atop my monitor, along with my eyesight. And when people see it, usually the first thing they say is that all it does? I'm not sure what they're expecting from a Cylon snowman. Maybe that it would pop out of the box and destroy all humanity? Well, sorry to say it doesn't do that. But I'm going to give you the deluxe tour of the Think Geek Snowbot. This is my harmless little Snowbot, and he has adjustable arms. He's got this Cylon eye in front that goes back and forth. You can switch it from red to blue, and he has Cylon sound effects. And there's a dial in back that controls the speed of the Cylon eye, and any geek worth their salt enjoys buttons and knobs and switches. It's USB powered, which is a plus for any desk accessory, and it's got this springy cord that goes from about 1.5 feet to several feet as long as you need, but no longer, which really helps to reduce desk cord clutter. One feature I'd like to point out, because Think Geek really pays attention to details, is the rubberized base, which is really important because with this spring-loaded cord, it would probably go whipping off my monitor whenever I moved it. But it doesn't. It stays securely in place. So I really love my Snowbot, but this is an impartial review, so I'm going to tell you that in shipping, his little scarf came off, and I had to pose it the way it is now, and it kept coming off, and it kept coming off because it is affixed here and here with little balls of like trim tape, and if I was a pessimist, I would say that they could have affixed it a little better, maybe with a little dot of glue or better tape, I don't know. Eventually I got my own office tape and balled it up in the back so it would stay put. If I am an optimist though, I could say that I had the opportunity to pose my Snowbot scarf exactly the way I wanted to. And if you are an overachiever, you could even dress up your Snowbot with different scarves, because it's not a permanent feature, or say you didn't like the scarf at all, you could just take it off. So that's the Think Geek Snowbot. But before I go, I want to point out one last thing, and that is in the back of the Snowbot, which you probably can't see on camera, it says copyright 2006 Think Geek, Inc. Which means that this isn't just a product that they found and they sold because they think it's cool. Like, this actually is a product from the mind of the monkeys. Can you imagine how that board meeting would have gone? Monkeys, I need you to think of a holiday decoration. How about a USB-powered Santa? Cylon! How about a snowman with robot arms? No, how about a Cylon? USB with a spring-loaded cord. That's thinking geeky. Brilliant! Spring-loaded USB snowman Cylon with robot arms. Make it happen! World of Warcraft. This week's WoW tip comes from Carl. Carl writes, if you want to level for a profession, always take the orange object you need to make with the least material needed. That way you don't have to get new material that fast, and you still level with every object you produce. Thanks, Carl. That's sound professional leveling advice, but I do have to amend it just a little bit. When you're leveling a profession, oftentimes certain materials become obsolete. Let's use first aid as an example because it's really simple. Let's say you can make wool bandages, but you have a bunch of linen and some wool. You probably want to use all of your linen making linen bandages even though it's green for you before you make any wool. Because as soon as you start making wool bandages, linen bandages are going to be obsolete really fast. So that's your WoW tip for the week. And if you have a WoW tip, please send them to geekgirl@clevermedia.com. Or send me any questions and comments so I can make you a better show. Introduce yourself. And if you're new to the show, I want to ask you, if you were a superhero, what would your name and superpower be? That's all for this week. This is Geek Girl, signing off.